Welcome into the Fun Astrology Podcast for Wednesday, November 13th. Thomas Miller back. How you doing with good old Mercury retrograde, huh? Did you see Mercury crossing the sun on Monday? If you did, wasn't that cool? And if you didn't, go catch Earth Sky News. I think it's earthsky.org, because they have some great pictures of it. And you know what's amazing to me is how small Mercury is. Mercury is 1/3 the size of Earth. So Earth is 3 million miles from the sun. Mercury is like 30-something million miles from the sun. I don't have the exact numbers with me, but it's like 30-something million, 90-something million, and it's about 1/3 the size of the Earth. So that's kind of an easy way to remember a couple of interesting facts. There you can take to a cocktail party, right? Oh, did you know the Earth is 2/3 bigger than Mercury? Yeah, and do you know what Mercury retrograde is? It's when Mercury goes in front of the sun. Yeah, that's it. See, you can just impress your friends. That was a really cool event. Okay, let's talk, though, about the other M planet, Mars, not the moon. The moon had its day yesterday, full moon. But moon has moved into Gemini, by the way, today, and it will be there for the next 2. Goes into Cancer on Friday. Now, Mars is currently opposite Uranus. Now, Uranus is in Taurus, Mars is in Libra. This is one of those aspects that I'm careful with on this podcast because some people would paint this as a fairly malefic picture. Let's just explore that for a second. Why would they say that? Well, for one, Uranus is in retrograde. And even though nothing has really happened, quote unquote, in this Uranus retrograde that we can at least put our finger on yet, a lot of people were speculating about financial crisis and collapses and this kind of stuff with Uranus in Taurus and then going retrograde, or when it turns back direct in January. Now, I think if you've been listening to this for a while, I don't go into the predictive stuff because I work with the energies of the planets, and that's what I want to do. And I realize that the world is based on plurality, duality, polarity, whatever you want to call it. It's based on that this is not one picture. So the fact that it's an opposition would be considered a hard aspect, tense aspect. And yet, what's the thing with magnets? If you put the two opposite sides, they attract, right? When you put the two same sides, they repel. So you have both sides. Again, one lesson, if you study astrology, keep this in mind. There's always the opposite side of the chart. It's just based on duality. So even with a quote-unquote hard aspect, we can find positive sides of that. So the hard side of the Mars-Uranus aspect, now Mars is a little tricky, okay? What is talking about polarity, let's talk about the good sides of Mars. Power, strength, stamina, drive, willpower, determination, a shoulder to lean on, get the project finished, turn the 8-hour drive into 6. No, well, you could go there, but let's don't. But you get the idea, all right? What's the opposite side of the chart? For one, Mars can be a very antagonistic trigger. So you could call that hot temper, anger. Let's take the warrior image. It can kill and destroy. And of course, I'm saying that figuratively, but it can make you feel like you've been hit. In ancient astrology, it was the nighttime malefic. Ancient astrologers considered both Saturn and Mars malefic planets, so they looked at Mars from the glass half empty perspective. And from their studies, they felt that Mars at nighttime was more on a rampage. So in this context, Uranus represents strange, bizarre, unusual. Mars could trigger strange, bizarre, unusual, and then magnify it. So from that standpoint, Mars would be like a steroid shot, right? Just take whatever is weird and crazy and magnify it, blow it up, enhance it. And then if we take the two houses where they both reside, both ruled by Venus, Libra, and Taurus, one Libra favoring more the relationship side of Venus, Taurus resembling more the financial side of Venus and home. So between now and December 3rd, you could be on an awareness, have an awareness, a heightened awareness, looking for maybe some things out of the ordinary around some of those areas. So your antenna is up. What do you do if you spot something? Well, one, if you have choices around it, maybe it's something that just totally comes out of the blue, your Uranian type characteristic, that you don't have a control. Okay, you accept it. If you do have control, then maybe you count to a big 15 instead of 5. You just take a pause. Maybe you can steer the situation in a different way, but you have your antenna up, and especially you're looking in those areas. You go, this is that energy. And then from there, you're able to just work with it, do the typical same kinds of spiritual work that we talk about here quite often. Mars opposite Uranus. Will it be the attractive side of the magnets, or will it be the repelling side of the magnets? In many cases, the choice will be yours. Have a great Wednesday. We'll be back for Thursday the 14th, tomorrow. Getting new carpet in the old office. Yay, that'll be fun. Hope that energy's good. We're doing it anyway. Mercury retrograde, be damned.